is basically the single largest review site, book review site in the world as of, this is a couple of years ago. They had 13 million books, many of which had hundreds or thousands of reviews, okay? There are millions of people who go to Goodreads every day because they love books. These are our people, okay? I want you to think about that, okay? Well, no. This is not a giveaway, okay?
You can do it.
You can do giveaways, and we'll talk about that. That's a very important part of using Goodreads. However, Goodreads is not about getting free books. What Goodreads is, in fact, it's about reviews. It's about sharing reviews. It's about finding new books.
Sharing books.
It's a social networking site, and it's a huge social networking site, and it is a networking site for book lovers. Okay? I want you to think about who you want to know about your book. And this is why, Sherry, somebody asked me which is more important, Twitter or Goodreads, and I said, Twitter's very important, but Goodreads is essential.
Is that what's your opinion?
No, but I don't know Goodreads.
Ah, but you will. Goodreads
I have it also.
I do too. So
I have my account open.
I do too. Yeah.
But
So
if people want to see over here.
right, there are two parts to Goodreads, and if you want to look on, if you have an iPad or a computer and you want to look on it, and it's going very slowly, because unfortunately the
Where are you trying to go?
What's the URL?
Goodreads.com.
Can you
There we
put
go.
up a book you've already published on Goodreads?
Yes.
Like,
I will bet you dollars to donuts, it's already there.
What's the book, Mark?
Dancing on the River?
And here's the thing. Goodreads has been around. It was started about
There it is.
8 years ago. Okay?
This is something good.
It's not a new site. It's been around for a while. It was started by a couple of people who are writers and book lovers. And they wanted a place where people could find out about their books. So what's happened is it has become the de facto book review site on the web. A lot of retail outlets, libraries, link to the reviews on Goodreads. Think about that.
So David, how do these books wind up on Goodreads?
Aha, ha, ha. There are two ways that the books wind up on Goodreads.
Oh, when the
I'm
rockers don't know
a
about
shill.
it.
Here's how it happens. You have a reader who reads the book and loves it or hates it and says, I want to share what I feel about this book with everybody that I know and with the people who don't know me on Goodreads. You can go on, and if you do a search on a book, I'm going to do a search on a book that doesn't exist. Somebody come up with a title that doesn't exist.
Where is the search? I don't see the search. I'm on
Where is the search?
You have to have an account.
I
You have to
don't.
have an account?
Okay, orange polywog.
Well, I just did. I don't see the search where.
Did you have to have an account to do a search first, David?
Probably. So I want you to look. If you do a search on a book that doesn't exist, it says, looking for a book. Search by title and author. Double check the spelling. Search by. Still can't find it. Add a new record, and that's anybody.
Yes.
Okay? If it's the first day and you have just signed up for Goodreads, you can add a book. That's probably how yours did, but
There's another way.
there's another way, and this is thing that I'm going to be uncomfortable about for the rest of this time. Last year, Goodreads got bought by who? Who do you think?
Amazon.
They own everything.
Who bought Amazon?
They have been very hands-off, okay? To date, they have not.
Who bought them?
Amazon.
Amazon.com. What
But-
else?
Well, of course they did. It's perfect. It's a perfect fit for them. But they have not, to date, done anything evil.
And so if your book
But-
is up on Amazon,
If it has an ISBN or an ASIN, so if it is identified as an ebook or a print book on Amazon,
then it will be in Goodreads.
and sometimes,
Automatically.
yeah, sometimes more than one. You know, I had to go through and combine a bunch. But better more than one than none, right?
Will the reviews transfer over as well?
If you combine them.
No.
Amazon reviews do not transfer over.
No.
But
These reviews are separate from Amazon
Yes,
reviews.
I promise you what's coming
Yeah.
is that Amazon will start listing Goodreads reviews. And in fact, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they started replacing their own reviews, which have all sorts of problems, with Goodreads. Here's the thing with Goodreads. It is, in theory, unaffiliated. It is independent, okay? You are not supposed to review a book that you have been given or been paid to write a review for without disclosing it. If you do, you get booted. They really don't like that. They take that very, very seriously.
So Mark's book,
Yes?
guess who wrote a review?
Mark? No, who?
Joel Friedlander.
Of course he did.
He says, Mark Susnow, a life coach, combines stories of his own life with lessons he's learned and passes along his wisdom to readers, upbeat and open-hearted. And Joel Friedlander, from his Goodreads account, has a shelf
Yes.
called Designed by Me.
Right. I have a shelf called Edited by Me, and a shelf called Written by Me. I
So
just
he has
wrote.
that disclosed?
Yes,
Yeah, so it's
that's a
disclosed.
disclosure.
What's
Yeah.
a shelf?
We're going to talk about that. So basically, the way that Goodreads works is there's books. I find, what's the name of his book again?
Dancing on the River.
Dancing on the River. I go and I'm looking for the book because I just read it. I typed looking in because I just read it. I just read it and I loved it and I want to let everybody know, or I couldn't stand it.
And you want to let her
I know. Well, but I will tell you something. It is better to have a bad review than no review.
Yes.
Because now your book has 3 reviews, 2 4-star reviews and a 5-star review. That's very good. I will tell you something else.
Who are the reviews by?
Joel, a person named Jay, and a woman named Callie Gilbert. There's also somebody
Jew.
named Jew who marked it as to read, and that's part of what we're talking about as well. So you have a rating of 4.33, which is good.
Nice.
That's not a lot of reviews, but it's reviews, okay? A book that doesn't have any, somebody's going to look at it if they haven't read the book, and they're going to say, maybe I'll wait until somebody reads it, and they'll mark it as want to read, okay?
Yeah.
And they'll put it, and people have thousands of books in their to-read list. I have thousands of books in my to-read list, but that's a whole other story. I have thousands of books in my read list. I also have books in my wrote list and my edited list. And if people want to come and see what I've worked on, they can see that. I try not to review books that I have worked on because that feels, but I let people know that I worked on them, and that shows up here as well.
I think too.
Okay. So here's the deal about Goodreads. You got, I think, 12, 15 million people, many of whom are on there once a day or more for 5, 10, 15 minutes, a half an hour looking for books, talking about books. We haven't even gotten to where they share this information, okay? It is a social network. It's not just about the reviews. You have to be present. You may already be present as you are. But you don't want to just be present as a book. You want to be present as an author. Okay? And so, let me see if I get to where I'm supposed to go. So, what you need to do, all of you, when you go home, if you're not already a member of Goodreads, what I want you to do is go and start a user account.
That's what you have to do first.
That's what you have to do first. So just sign up, and to be honest, if you already are on Facebook, just say, use Facebook to sign in, easy. It'll sign you in, you'll get your name, you'll even get a picture, okay? Understood?
No, no,
User
no, no.
account, create user account?
Yeah.
Say that again now.
If
you're a
you,
member.
when you say, I want to create a
User
user
account.
account, it'll say, do you want to sign in with Facebook or Twitter or whatever?
Okay.
If you have a Facebook account and you're signed in, it's perfectly all right, just use that. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, just create a new account.
What if you have like 2 Facebook accounts, like personal?
Well,
and for
use
my
the one that
business?
you would like.
Uh-huh.
What was that?
That's my wife telling me that I need to pick up my daughter.
I'll sign in with your Amazon account, because I thought I had a Goodreads account, but apparently I didn't.
They have now created a link between your Amazon,
Right.
and this is the other thing, they now own it.
Yeah, on my page it says new, add your Amazon books. So all
Right.
the books I bought on Amazon,
Right.
I can add
I,
onto my shelf, which is like too many
I-
to deal with.
right, but it will load it, and it will load the star rating,
Yeah.
okay? Which will do a couple of things. Okay. So I have created my account, and I have gone in, and I have found your book, and I've said, I love this book. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Why don't you do
Go
it right now?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Give him
Okay.
a nice
Because he
review.
hasn't read it yet.
Come on, go ahead.
No,
He hasn't read it.
it's okay.
He'll say he wants to.
Yeah, you can do it as wants to read.
Well, let me, dancing on the thing, I will do it as wants to read, absolutely, because I do. So I've now marked that as want to read, okay? So let me think of a book that I haven't already rated, that I have in fact read. I haven't read your book
What
either.
does 1,
Books,
3
I have 2
mean?
books on it.
I'm sorry?
What did, you said you rated it as 1, 3. What does that?
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I
What
want
does that
to
do for
read.
anyone, David, when you mark it as one to read? What does that?
Everybody who
No stars.
follows my account, and I have not a huge number. I've got like 56 friends, people who follow my account. Also, I have people who are fans, who know that I'm an author and follow my author account. When I put that you are a want-to-read book for me, that goes up on a feed, okay? And on my homepage, when I log in, it says David Cover wants to read Dancing on the River
This is on your,
on my feed. So my friends see that I put it on, so they look up and go, huh, Dancing on the River, that sounds
Does that
interesting,
do
a nice
anything
cover.
for him directly?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
Does
Yes,
it do anything for him directly?
Yes!
that's the point.
They go, they check out his book, they say, ooh, I want to read it. When you go to that page, if I go to that page, let me go back to that page again, okay? If you're on that page, if you look underneath, it says Dancing on the River, it's the description, it says all the information, how many pages, when it was published, the ISBN, and you know what it says underneath that? Get a copy. Kindle ebook, Amazon, other stores. I can buy your book from the link, and I will,
Oh, well.
okay?
pay for my dues.
Why, is it cost him $80?
Can you like
Just up the
this?
price.
Old-fashioned word of mouth, Dan?
Dancing.
It's exactly old-fashioned word of mouth.
That's what it
It's
sounds like.
word of mouth. It is, do you remember, those of us who remember independent bookstores, there still are some.
Yeah,
You used to go in and you'd say to the booksellers, hey, what's good? You know what I like.
yeah.
What's good? Or you'd say to your friends,
What I'm getting for you, this discussion earlier today about, traditional publishing versus digital publishing or indie publishing. Sounds like for you, it's not even an issue for you.
Wait, if I'm also a traditionally published author,
Okay.
okay? You still need this.
Yeah,
This is not just for indie publishers.
this is a way to sell more books.
This is, to be honest, I can tell you, J.K. Rowling,
Got a media presence too.
you know, has a huge presence on here.
Okay.
Her books are on here. Well, if her books are on there, I want my books on there. Every edition, every translation. Okay? The Australian edition, the British edition, the American edition, all of them in one place. The ratings, all of them unified. So that, for instance, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, that is the first book in the Harry Potter series. How many different editions? 328 editions, right? Something like 170 languages, softcover, hardcover, ebook, audiobook. Each of those is an edition.
And the author has more money than the Queen of England.
Yes, she does. And to be honest, no offense, she earned it. And I do not mind that.
Who, the Queen of England?
No.
She's
I have
also,
nothing against
for
Elizabeth,
those of
but J.K.
us
Rowling,
in our senior years,
She might have
most of us
earned it,
around
you
this
don't know.
table,
What's the book we want to
She-
read? What's the name? What's the name of the book?
Dancing on the River by Mark,
So
last name is
Jake-
Susnell.
Susnell.
It's about
Yes, she
love,
was in a
love
movie.
on the Iditarod
J.K.
Trail.
Rowling is a great story. Her personal story is a great role model for all of us.
She
But
was,
she didn't get famous till after she was 50.
Yay.
and she was
We'll have to wait
a
a few more
single
years.
mom. I mean, it was hard. So here's the thing. If you go, say, onto the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone page, which has, 3,240,396 ratings, and those hundreds of different editions, if I go down, it'll take a while to load. All of the ratings, all of the reviews are listed down there. These are my friends who have reviewed it, which is most of them, not all
Wow.
of them, 12. This is
You only
people,
have 12 friends?
no, who have reviewed Harry
Oh.
Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This is people who have asked questions about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone that other readers can answer. You can also ask questions of the author, okay? And then there's millions of reviews, and then people can comment on the reviews,
This is all on, you mean on,
all on Goodreads.
and how do you perpetuate that? How do you, trying to think of a better word, instigate it or get the ball
Take
rolling?
advantage.
Create the
Well,
buzz?
first
How
of
do you-
all, the book has to be up there.
Okay.
Second of all, you need a presence there, and not just as a user, and that's what I'm going to talk about in a second,
As an author.
as an author. So once you have created a
User
user account, then you need to go and, damn it,
Create an author account.
create an author account, and it's if you go down to the very bottom of the page, there's a link that says Author Program.
I
If
see
you're
it.
not, if you are, as I am, an author already, it will log you into your dashboard, which is where you get all of the information.
But you sign in
I
first
asked-
to your user account?
User account first, and then if you aren't yet an author, you say, yes, I want to sign up to be an author. And then what happens,
Or and publisher, it says and or publisher too?
yeah,
It says there are 148,000 authors.
that's not a big number.
On Goodreads. What?
That's not a big number.
Well, I mean, that's
Those
what
are
you're
the,
talking about.
those are the number of people who have author accounts.
Yes, but that's still not a big number.
Yeah.
I asked a question of Lori and in our roundtable last session. What defines you as an author? As we're writing our book, are we an author?
An
Or is it the
author,
end of, or
that's a
the
big, big,
manuscript?
big definition. That's a big argument.
So,
There are people who will tell you that you have to be traditionally published to be an author. No, absolutely not. If you have a book that is complete and on the market, absolutely you're an author. In the same way that if it's not a thing, it's a manuscript. If it's not in finished form, it's a manuscript. Once it's in finished form, it's a book.
but not manuscript.
But that, so
Not
when it's
manuscript.
a manuscript, you're a writer.
Yeah, and you can still create. They probably won't okay your author page application because you don't have anything put there yet, but you can still go and try to create it. I'm not sure. I hadn't
Maybe if you have an advanced review copy.
Yeah.
I think you can set it up before the actual
Oh,
launch.
they want you
Okay.
to set it up before the actual launch. So you go, you create your author account. Once you've created that author account, they will probably, if you have a weird name like David Kudler, they will look up and say, is this your book? Well, I had a book already. And yes, it was. And now I am, if you go and do a search on David Kudler, it will show you the books that are mine, including the one that's coming out next year. Okay?
So you mentioned the one on your author account, are you gonna, what's that under links? To be published or?
No, the one that's on my author account was the one that I published 15 years ago,
Yeah,
traditionally.
yeah.
It's a children's picture book. And it is already there, it had an ISBN. This is before I even reissued it. I
Okay.
joined Goodreads and was able to then create a record for the new book, link it to the old book, so that the reviews from the old book carried over.
So that was like your old book,
Yeah.
but the book you're gonna release next summer?
Is already up there. And that's a different book.
That's different, or that's? a
Different book. I've got 4 books that
Okay,
are up
but-
there. I have a bunch of books that are up there.
But I
with
mean,
me as an
but it's a
editor.
year in advance and you have it on there?
Yeah, because
So what, under
I
what?
put it there.
Under what?
Well, and you're already an author, so
Under
you
what?
qualify.
Under what category?
Well, it's young adult.
No, what I meant was, you put it under there, but it isn't
Well, when
released, it isn't
okay,
published yet.
when I go and I say I want to create a book, if your book hadn't been there, I would have created it for you. So let's go back and come up with another name that
Well, the
isn't.
new book I'm creating is The Soul of Uncertainty.
I'm going to tell you if that title is already in use.
Better not.
Not that it, that,
Oh, so you can't copyright a title, by the way.
Yeah, and I
no,
already-
there is not a book called
And I
Soul of
already have the
Uncertainty.
domain name.
I'm writing one called Holy Bible.
Good luck with that
was your
one.
book?
I have a question about titles of books. What if you looked up a title you're thinking of for a book, and there is no book by that title listed anyplace on the internet, but there's an organization with that name?
It is not copyrightable. It only is a problem if it is in any way misleading. If your book, I mean, you know, I'm trying to think.
If there's similar titles of other books?
It's fine. There's 3 books called Islands in the Stream. Okay? One of them's by F. Scott Fitzgerald. One of them's another famous person. I mean, there are lots of books with the same name.
But the reasons not to do that if there's already a book out.
Yes. Likewise, if it's an organization and your book has nothing to do with the organization, if yours is an erotic thriller and it's a book about, taking care of babies, that would be a bad idea, because then it's going to confuse people in a way that's not going to make them happy.
David?
Yeah.
If this is a social network site of sorts, do you give up your Facebook list to find friends on Facebook with them?
Yeah, but you know what? Why is,
It says go to your Facebook, you
Yeah.
just import all of your content.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
those
why-
people now will know that you are on Goodreads.
Why is that a bad thing?
Well, because now that's how Facebook
Yes, it is.
captures and.
My God, they know what you're reading.
Nothing's
They
private
know a
anymore.
lot about you.
How do you spell your last name again?
S-U-S-N-O-W.
And M-A-R-K?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have an ISBN for it yet?
yeah, not for,
The new book?
I mean, I do, I bought like 10 of them a long time ago.
We'll talk about it. Publisher name?
Inspire Possibility Media.
I'm creating this. Do you know the year and date of publication?
I would say probably spring of 2016.
I'm just going to say 2016 because it doesn't give me a season. It just gives me a month and day.
Yeah,
You probably don't know the page numbers yet?
About 180 probably.
I'll put that down. That's fine. And what format are you going to publish it in first? Hardcover, paperback, or
Be a
ebook?
print copy, I mean print, that's
Hardcover or paperback?
paperback.
Okay. So paperback edition first, right?
Mhm.
I'm not going to put in the official URL or the description, but you can do this in a little bit because this is going to be a book. You can also upload, if you have cover art or even preliminary cover art, you can put it up there. Okay? If there were another author, you could add another author or an editor or a translator or an illustrator or, you know, whatever. You can give as much information about the edition as you want. There's quite a bit of space to do that. It is a blurb. It is not meant to be your review. If you are doing somebody else's book, don't put your review in the description slot.
Yeah.
If you have a URL to connect it to, there's a slot for that. But do you know your URL?
Well, I did, yeah, I did, thesoulofuncertainty.com.
HTTP soul, a soul,
The soul
the soul.
of uncertainty.
Any underlines or spaces or
No.
anything? And I think I put a soul of uncertainty above, so I'm going to go and change that. And can you give me a one-sentence synopsis?
Yeah, well, that's I mean, it's a book about coming to terms with life's uncertainty.
That's good.
I'm just going to leave it
Karen's
there.
taking her clothes off.
I'm just going to leave it there, okay?
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's the
just
best
that-
elevator speech right there.
Right, that was great. So I'm going to hit create book. If I had a cover, I would upload it.
Now you
It
have
now
to write it.
puts it in and says, give me a review, even though it isn't published yet. Now, if
Yeah.
I go back, okay, The Soul of Uncertainty, Mark Susnow, it says expected publication 2016 by Inspire Possibility Media.
Great.
If I click on your name, it now lists both books together.
Okay,
That
now,
was for free.
okay, so David, David, how
Yeah.
do you set up,
Right.
that's because he has an author account.
No,
No, just because his books are up there.
yeah, no.
Because.
I just created a book for him.
I know.
If he hadn't had a book, it wouldn't have shown
Okay,
up another
and-
book.
And so that's separate from having a user
Yeah.
account.
No, this is the user account that I created this
Oh, you did,
with.
okay.
Oh, this,
I am also, there are 3 levels of membership in
Wait,
Goodreads.
Wait a minute, wait a
Uh,
You
minute,
created a
wait,
user account for me?
No, I created a book
Okay.
out of your user account.
out of my user account.
Okay.
I'm also an author.
Right, so
think-
then how do you set up an author account?
Well, okay. So this is important. You go in, you request an author account. They will say to you, bless you, my children, you are an author. And they will give you an author account.
How do you do that?
You go down to the bottom of the webpage and click on the button that says Author Program. They will give you a chance to request an author account. You have to have already made your user account. Once you've requested your author account, they're usually pretty quick. If you've got a book already, easy. They will create an author account for you. If you
Yeah.
don't,
I'm
harder.
doing this for Kurt, I'm doing this for Kurt, okay?
Great.
If it's
So-
out of
so
print,
I-
it's okay?
If it's not what?
Out of print?
It's out of print, that's fine. They don't care.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
kidding me?
So I set up his user account through his Facebook account.
Right.
Now I'm in the author thing. It says, are you an author? Are you the Kurt Kincaid that wrote Secrets and Pleasures?
And you say yes, right?
Join the author program.
That's it. And,
Okay.
and it won't happen immediately. It will take a little while. They have to look at it and they will send you an email. At least that's how it used to be.
So I discovered 5 books on there by me. I just looked at it.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and
Are they your books?
yeah, and there's some in English and some in Finnish, and so.
Wow.
But they have the pictures and everything.
Yes.
How did that get on there?
Because somebody uploaded it. One of 2
Amazon.
things. Either Amazon loaded it over or somebody who read the book in Finland or here or the UK or Canada or Australia or
And
wherever.
Amazon put the picture on.
No, they uploaded it. Some of
Picture
them,
and all?
somebody will take a picture of the cover. You'll see it. Sometimes it's a picture of a battered old cover. Sometimes they go on the internet and they find,
It's a lot of work.
yeah, it's,
There are
wait,
people who
these are people who love books. That's the point. So, okay,
I just
So-
went in and tried to register as an author,
yeah,
and it looks like it pulls over your Amazon author page.
that's new. Didn't do that before.
It
That's
looks like
cool.
it just pulled them all over.
So if you have an author central page on Amazon, which you should,
Yeah.
that was the other thing I offered to talk about, I think, or if I was thinking of talking about. Author Central is the retail version of Goodreads author account, okay? You need to have an Author Central account on Amazon.
Can I say
because-
something about that?
Okay, wait.
Okay.
No, because
No?
we gotta get
We
through
gotta
this.
get through this, okay.
So when you get there, you will be given an option to give a whole bunch of information about you and how much of the information you want given out, okay? So for instance, in my case, I have my birthday and year up there, and I say I only want that available to my friends, because to be honest, that's personal information, and, you know.
You wanna lie about your birthday, generally.
No, I just don't want somebody being able to
I
answer my security questions.
Yes.
Exactly.
So then there's a space for my website, my own personal reading interests, my favorite books, and about me. But then there's a whole other set of things. My email address, what I want to get emails about, fine. What feeds I want. I'm looking for other apps to connect it to.
Where are you?
I'm in my author account. I have an open author account.
Okay.
What I was trying to find was there's stuff that allows me to advertise. And if you go, if you look under purchases, but also there's somewhere better than that. I'm trying to remember where it is.
I mean, advertise your book?
Yeah.
I mean, where you paid advertising?
Yeah.
Oh, self-serve ad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they make their money.
That's how they make their money. They make their money by that, and also affiliate accounts. They are affiliates of all of these other retail sites, so they get a small kickback every time you click on one of their links and buy it somewhere else. And they don't care where. They also link to WorldCat, which is the mother of all library catalogs.
But the advertising would be with them?
The advertising is specifically with them, yes.
With
But I want you to think about, where would you rather advertise? Who's most likely to read your book? And if you advertise there, and this is one of the things I was going to try to talk about, if you advertise there,
You know, I have a friend that has a bookstore,
yeah, there you go.
and this is what he said for people that are self-publishing Goodreads is like, not good, it's essential.
It is essential. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So if I go, once I have my author page, there is a link that says, if I go to that same author program link at the bottom of the page, it says, what is the Goodreads author program? What can you do as a Goodreads author? And it gives me a whole bunch of links. One of the things that I can do is link my blog
Right.
directly to the Goodreads author page for me. Another thing that I can do, I'm going to go to my author page here, I can do is put up a different picture of me than the one that I have up as a user. I have my official business headshot. I can put up a video. This is a video of me talking about Joseph Campbell. God, I love talking about Joseph Campbell. It will list all of my books, the ones that I've edited and the ones that I've actually written. You know, the ones that I've edited are actually below. The other ones, it depends on how popular they are, how many ratings and reviews there are. It'll say what I'm reading, which is a year out of date because I haven't updated it because I'm a bad Goodreads user. I haven't reviewed anything in a while. But it'll list my recent updates. It will also, where, does it not have it? Oh yes, there we go. It will list quotes that I've listed or enjoyed. It will list groups that I belong to, and I don't have my blog connected here. Oh, I'm ashamed.
This is why you're teaching this course.
Yes,
And you can have like
my
your-
blog, oh, there it is. I'm sorry, it's right under my profile. David Kudler's blog. It is the blog feed from my website. There it is.
And you can have like your newsletter sign up and everything like that.
No,
No,
Which one is
my
it?
blog
it's
posts.
just a blog
one is
post.
It's this
This
right
one?
here.
Okay.
This is actually on my website.
Yeah.
It's part of an RSS feed it's a way of that websites share
So
posts.
I have a blog that's on my website.
Yeah, so
I
you
can
connect it to this,
Need
and
a
every
URL
post.
to
You
that.
need to
Yeah.
have, but Mark, you
The
need to
feed.
have an author, a user account, and then an author
But
account.
under the author
Yeah.
account, you can do
Yes.
that.
And it will link back. And that's the cool thing. So people who are interested in me will go to my website, which I
You
want them
just
to do.
use the URL for your blog page. Is that,
Often that works,
Often,
yes.
often that will work. If that doesn't work, you can just add the word feed at the end, and sometimes that'll work. Or if you look on your website, if you don't have like a WordPress blog, if it's a Blogger or something else, there will be a little orange square with little radar markings. That's your RSS feed. If you click on that, it will show you the RSS feed URL. You copy and paste that in, it'll be fine. Most likely, if you just put your URL from your blog in, it'll be great. Okay?
So just a quick question. I have 2 books on Goodreads, which was like so far, I don't know how they got there, but I.
Because they
We're
existed.
all having the
They
same
existed
experience.
and they were on Amazon and everything, but do I have an author page automatically?
No,
No.
you have to create a user page and then an author page.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Which is
I just
why
did
we're
that.
talking about
I just
this.
did that for my husband as we were
Right.
sitting there. First I created a user page using his Facebook account, and then, thanks to
Then go to the
David telling me about going to the bottom of the page, I clicked on author program, and it immediately found him. Because his book is already up there
yeah.
at Goodreads.
Right, because it's on Amazon.
Right.
Or because somebody who enjoyed the book. Now, if you look on this, guess what? You know what this little square here is? You know what that is?
No.
That's an ad.
An ad.
An ad for somebody else's book.
Where's the ad?
Ad right
For somebody
here.
else's book on your
Most,
site?
not on my site, on my Goodreads page.
Oh.
That's how they make their money. But I bet you dollars to donuts that this person, that ad, in some way, my profile connected with their ad. Their ad, the ads, when you ask to pay for an ad, it will say, do you have a particular author that you want to, people who like this author will like your book? Or do you want a particular genre? Well, the genres that I say are historical fiction, children's fiction, and nonfiction, because those are the things that I've worked in the most. Okay? And now erotica, but that's not going to go on there, because they don't go together well.
So because you have a following, this person wants to add.
No,
because
probably
are
it was
you-
one of these 3 things, historical fiction.
So you, in other words,
or
for you to advertise, you pick your genre.
genre, or authors who are similar to you.
And
do you
then
think?
and then you're on their site?
No.
I mean, on their
Goodreads.
page,
Yes,
their page, that's what
or on one of their books. Somebody is in their book, you go to their book, and there's going to be an ad somewhere that says,
On
you
their
know,
digital copy of the book?
no, their Goodreads page for their book.
Okay, oh, the Goodreads page.
All on Goodreads, all on Goodreads. There's a Goodreads app on here.
Can you pay to have someone removed, someone's ad removed?
No.
Probably not, but if somebody has a book that is truly offensive
I don't.
to you as terms of your book, you can go and complain and say, please don't let this person put their ads on my page.
Well, sure, if it's truly offensive, I didn't really.
Or, well, back to the thing where if you're doing a thing about an erotic book about something and it's got a similar thing to something about kids, the person who has the kids book could look up and say, could you please not put this up? And they will be very happy. It's a very nice community. The community is run by a group of people called librarians. The librarians, I'm a librarian as well. I'm not a very active one. Most of the stuff that I do is my books. But a librarian can edit books, okay? Anybody can create a book, but a librarian can go in and say, yeah, these 2 books need to be combined. There's 2 editions of the same book, or they're the same edition. At which point then the reviews become merged, which is what you want. Okay?
Wait a minute.
Well done!
So
David,
now,
what,
look at an author page, they say, or I made changes on an author page, and they said, well, you don't have librarian status, you can't do it.
In order to get librarian status, you have to have rated 50 books or more and request librarian status.
what if somebody, as a reviewer, is a librarian?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
It's a different kind of library.
But is that like a reviewer?
No.
No.
We're not talking
Everybody
about,
can review. Librarians are just people who can edit.
they're not that's not their job out there in the world.
No.
This is librarian.
Librarian on Goodreads.
But what I'm saying, like with,
This is the community.
you know, I have like
moderators.
on Amazon, I don't know, about 4 or 5 reviews. and I have maybe 25 blurbs in the inside cover of my book.
Sure.
So I guess what I do next time is it's important to have those people who wrote the blurbs write something.
Or you know what you can do? Do you have an Author Central account?
No.
Get yourself an Author Central account, and it will allow you to go in and edit the editorial review section of your book
Right.
and add those blurbs in the editorial review section, at which point they show up above the user reviews.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Author Central?
Author Central. Oh,
Within
God.
This is a whole other topic.
You know what? This is another day, but create an Author Central account. Everybody.
We should do that as a
Within
program.
Goodreads.
No.
No, within
Amazon. AuthorCentral.amazon.com.
So what is it then?
We need an
Author
Author
Central.
Central program.
Amazon. Well, Amy is going to talk about it.
Yeah, make sure she delves into detail.
It is
about
important. It is the retail version of what you got on Goodreads.
So AuthorCentral.amazon.
Amazon.com, and I'm not going to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
I will talk to you afterwards, okay? Because we can talk about that for a while. I need to talk about what else you can do. You can advertise on Goodreads. You can review other people's books. You can become part of groups. Groups are great. So for instance, I'm a part of a bunch of groups. I'm a part of, because I'm publishing a young adult book in a year, and because I love young adult books, because I have 2 teenagers, and one no longer teenager, but I've, had girls that love young adult books. So I'm part of a couple of young adult groups. I'm part of a historical group. I published a sci-fi book last year, and I'm part of a sci-fi group. I also read a lot of sci-fi fantasy. All of these groups are places for me to go and interact with other people who like the same kind of books that I do, and who like the books that I'm writing and publishing.
So how do you join them?
You go and you look under, if you go up at the top of Goodreads, there's a series of links. One is home, and that will just tell you what your friends are doing, what they've read, what they've rated,
Mrs. Lee,
what
you
groups
just
they
showed,
join.
you just showed up on my
Right,
Goodreads. You
Yes.
just showed up on my Goodreads page and you just did something.
right.
Yeah.
My books, and this is the other thing that you need to do. When you join, it'll say, hey, what books have you read? What did you think of them? What books do you like?
Right.
And what you do,
You can spend hours.
oh,
doing this stuff.
the first time I was on here, I spent hours, okay? And these are all books that I've worked on. But you go through and you list books that you've read, and if you have a memory of how you felt, you give 1 to 5 stars, and if you had a strong opinion that you want to share, you write a review. You do that, and then you can also add what are called shelves.
Yeah, so do you have a shelf for books you worked on? And
Yeah,
what did you call
edited.
it?
Edited.
Okay.
Mine is called edited. Wrote is called wrote.
Yeah.
As in
But I think I'm gonna say
writing.
worked on.
Yeah, worked on would probably be good too. I just have different worked ons, and so I feel odd. I maybe should add 2, I don't know.
It's interesting to go into the groups and see.
Groups,
all
there's a
the
million
lists
groups.
of kinds of groups there are.
There's every possible interesting kind of group. So here's a book that I worked on. If I wanted to, I could give it a rating. Now, I can't do that because it said that in my thing, if it's part of edited, I don't want to be able to rate it because it feels wrong. But I can rate it. I can add a review, okay? If I add a review, that will then go out. My friends will all see that. People who come and look at my page will see that. People who come and look at the page for the book will see that. Okay? That's important. And if I want, I have shelves set up on my account. Okay?
So how do you set it up so the shelf says you can't review it?
Oh, you go in and when you go to shelves, there's an edit.
Oh.
Okay?
What is a shelf?
A shelf is, there's a lot of ways of organizing shelves.
We have about 5 more minutes.
I know, I'm trying to, because there's something very important that I have to get to.
Go for it.
Okay. Shelves are important because you list the genre, or you list your relationship to the book. And what Goodreads does is it's got very smart algorithms that look through, because 80 different people are going to give it 80 different variations on young adult adventure. YA fantasy is what I've got here as a bunch of books. Or YA, I got another one. But a whole bunch of different genres of books that I've read. And then it will look at people who have similar genres, and then it will then apply a genre to that book. If 80 people say that this is a YA, a young adult adventure novel, then it will say, fiction, young adult, adventure. Which then makes it easy for people to find. That's why shelves are important. The last thing I need to tell you, the important thing, if I go to my wrote page, and it has to be a book you wrote.
W-R-O-T-E?
W-R-O-T-E, a book not that you memorized, but that you created.
I'm just
And it has to be a book that's already out, okay? So I have a couple of ebooks. If I go there, oh shoot, where is it? Maybe it's in the publishing program thing. No, it's at the top. When I go to a page of a book that I worked on, that I wrote, there's a series of things called author tools. One is, it'll tell me the stats, how many copies of the books have been added, how many of it have been reviewed, how many have been rated, what are the ratings. Very helpful. A widget, that's really important. Somebody asked, how do you let people know about this? You put a widget. Everybody know what a widget is?
No.
A widget is a little,
Graphic.
well, it's a mini web page that you can then take and put on your website. It's actually a window into Goodreads. And in this case, if I were to go to the widget, I could have all of the reviews. I could either just have a list. Now, I don't have a lot of reviews of this book, if any. Oh, there we go. 7 Gods of Luck, have a bunch. So I can take the widget, put it at the bottom of the informational page on my website, which I have done, so that anybody who goes to my website sees all of the reviews from Goodreads. I can say, I only want 3 and up, or 4 and up. Now they'll see what the average rating is, even if that's not true. I mean, even if I only list the 4s and 5s, they'll see if it's all 2s and 1s, other than a couple. They'll see that the average rating is 2 point whatever. As a matter of fact, it's
Even if you say you only want.
yeah, because it will only list the reviews, but actually it doesn't list. It doesn't show the. It doesn't show the average. It does on the page, but it doesn't show it here. So that's one thing. You can copy it. You can then copy the
This is
HTML.
as an author.
This is as an author.
Yeah.
But you can do it with other people's books too if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Anybody's book, you can get the widget. Only an author can list a giveaway, and this is the thing that I wanted to tell you. A giveaway.
2 minutes.
Okay? You were talking about, oh, it's free books.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing about a giveaway, okay? If I list a giveaway for a book, it's like the crowdfunding, okay? It goes up on a list of new giveaways. And the genre and information about the book, I am able to say, this is the information about the book. If it's adult only, I can check off a thing that says adult only. This is not adult only at all. I get to say when the times are. I can say a month or 2 months. To be honest, all of the sign-ups are going to be in the first day and the last day. So I usually suggest that people do 2 or 3 days, okay? And you will have the same number of people signing up if you give away 1 copy or 5,000 copies.
Really?
Honestly, I've tried, not 5,000. I gave away 5 copies, I gave away 1 copy, exactly the same number of people signed up. And I'll tell you, because there are people who go to Goodreads to find
Free books.
free books. But here's why you want them to. And it's not ebooks, by the way, it's only print books.
Right.
Only print books.
You
It
have
has to be a
ship-
print book.
You have to ship them.
You have to ship it to them. That's why not 5.
Right.
1. But you can ship it straight from Amazon, from CreateSpace, or from Lightning Source. They're fine with that. It doesn't have to be a signed copy. It just has to be a copy. Here's why. If you go on Amazon or on Goodreads, and you see, as I have done, people who have books that don't seem to be selling that much better than mine, but they have 100 or 200 reviews, which means they will have more legs, okay? It will keep selling longer because people will look and they'll see it has a lot of good reviews, or even mediocre to good reviews.
So when you do a giveaway, people have to write
More
a review.
people, okay, what happens when you do a giveaway? You give one copy away. The person who gets it is obligated to review your book.
Oh.
They are obligated to say they got a free copy, but they are obligated, that's the agreement, okay? I give you a book, you give me a review. If you're a nice person, you put it on there, and you put it on Amazon, and maybe you even put it on Barnes & Noble. But here's the magical part. Everybody who signs up for a giveaway, 500-600 people sign up, one wins.
Yeah.
But the rest of those people now list that book. Most of them will list that book as to read.
Oh.
And so everybody on their friends list,
We'll see that.
it pops up on their friends list. Now, you have a book. It's in a particular genre. The people who want to sign up for the giveaway are people who like that genre. What do you think their friends like?
Similar.
That genre.
Yeah.
Every time I've done a giveaway, I have seen a huge swell, not just in the to-reads, but also leading up to the giveaway, but it has a bubble after, and there's a purchase bubble. Usually the ebook, but sometimes the print. And the other thing that you need to do, all of these people add this book in hope of winning a copy of your book. What I do, if I'm feeling like I really want reviews of this book, because these people are likely to want to review your book. They asked for it.
Right.
I go on, and it's now, they're listed on the bottom of your book as wanting to read it. Okay?
Only if they elect to do that, correct?
If they elect to do that, but a lot of people do. And those are the people you care about. Okay? If you look at the bottom of your book's page, there's a whole bunch of people, and it'll say marked to read, marked as 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 to read, read it, rated it, marked as to read, added it. Added it just means it's in my list, but I didn't put it on my to read shelf. Okay? I go through, and all those people who said I marked it as to read, I'm going to use their messaging system, which is in here. Okay? And go away.
You send them
And I send them a message that says, I am so sorry you didn't win the free print copy of my wonderful book, The 7 Gods of Luck. But guess what? I really appreciate the fact that you signed up. If you would be willing to write a review, I'm happy to send you a free copy of the ebook. How much does that cost me?
Nothing.
Time.
Some time.
But you send the ebook, not the print book.
I'm not going to send the print book to every single one of them because that's expensive.
So
Yeah,
David,
but an ebook.
that's okay in Goodreads rules?
The rules are, if I send them a free copy, they have to say, I was given a free copy in exchange for an honest review.
Got it.
And
What if you don't
that's
like-
the other thing.
What if you don't like the review?
Here's the other thing about Goodreads. And this is probably the last thing I'm going to say, because we all need to head
It's
on.
10:04.
It is, I have a little while. I'm going to say this, and then I'll take some questions, okay? The conventional wisdom, if you get a negative review, what do you think the best thing to do is?
Right back.
Thank
Right
thank
to
them for writing.
Right back to
Nothing.
Don't say a word.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Because some people who give negative reviews, most people, if they bother a review, are going to give a relatively positive review. Now, another thing, the star ratings on Goodreads are more stringent than the ones on Amazon. So you'll see lower ratings on Goodreads at first, and you'll go, oh my God, they don't like my book. No, 3.82 on Goodreads is about 4.5 on Amazon. It's pretty good. Okay? I'm looking at my book, it's 3.82. What you want is a good distribution where there's more at the top than the bottom. If people really don't like the book, that's a bad sign. But if one or two people don't
Sign
like
YouTube,
it,
work on
that's
the
okay, yeah, that's fine.